Hey, so good morning, everyone. So this is the third in the series for runners, getting you through the summer. And this one's more around rhythm in order to find our strength. So it's all standing, and you are going to choose to some extent how much rhythm, how much movement you use. So this is a reasonably dynamic practice, nothing too complex, nothing too challenging, but it is keeping us kind of on the move for most of the session. So let's just prepare yourself. So it's really just trying to complement the idea that when we run, we're always trying to find a rhythm, and that we also need good form within that. So if we overthink the form, then everything goes wrong because we don't get into the rhythm. If we sometimes just get into a very loose rhythm, or a rhythm that is based on bad form, we can be in a collapsed position and end up exaggerating or emphasizing imbalances or weaknesses. So with this, I'm trying to give you enough cues and instructions to keep the running form alive, and then the rhythm is your thing, really. How much you want, what pace you want to go to, what your rhythm feels like today. So starting in a position whereby you're not going to hit anything. So I have had a few issues with hitting things in this room. So it's basic twist, and it's a free knot movement. So let's just get going. So again, you need to change the position of your feet at any time to either widen them or reduce them. The idea is we just feel stable here. So even in this really straightforward move that is kind of like a dance, if you like, or a simple rhythm, simple movement of the shoulders, we can still lose our sense of form here. So we can end up coming forward and losing that sense of length through the spine. So imagining the spine is actually extending rather than any sort of collapsed rounding in the back, or any exaggeration, arching in the lower back. So just finding a free movement to get the arms being free. So puppet arms aren't doing anything, shoulders move from side to side, head will move with shoulders. And again, how much you move the head, I tend to keep my head a little bit more looking forward because I'm kind of paying attention to the screen, but really I can take my head over my shoulders, bring my whole spine into it. So just finding a rhythm, seeing how you feel in the body. How's it feel in the arms? How's it feel in the shoulders? What's going on in the movement in the rib cage? So it's a little bit of a support for opening around the diaphragm as we do the twist. We get the hips, and it's a whole body thing. And just see if you find it easier or more difficult as we go through the routine. And you might notice I'm bending my elbows a little bit more. It's an option for you, where you actually end up getting a little bit more of the arms touching the body, touching the diaphragm area, the lower rib cage, kidneys. So it's a little bit of a wake up, and it's a little bit more of a firm move, and I'm starting to do also a little bit quicker. So again, that's up to you. You get the speed going. I've got really long arms, so I'm a bit dangerous in this space. Already knocked one picture down. So making sure you've got the root, if you're a bit more ambitious with the arm swings. And seeing how that feels, so that energizes, or whether you feel a little bit like, okay, maybe this is a bit too much for me, and I need to just slow it down. I need to change to my rhythm, just copy my rhythm. Yeah, so you might want to do your own slower, faster. You're warming up, getting the heart going faster, and the breath will be changing. And start to slow the movement up a little bit. And see how that is going from faster to slower. Does it feel sluggish now? Does it feel better? Does it feel calming? What's the body responding? Is it collapsing now because it knows it's finishing up the movement? Let the arms just kind of naturally come to that resting position. Brilliant. Okay. Can you feel all that kind of wakefulness in the body, that tingling, that aliveness, that warmth? Can you feel where the hands and the arms were touching the body? And just for a moment, just taking a hand to the chest and a hand to the belly. Feeling the warm hands on the belly and the chest, feeling any connection of movement from the breath. In the chest and the belly, again notice as we go from active to passive how it is in the breath. Can you breathe just through the nostrils, or you need to breathe through the nostrils and the mouth? How does the body feel? Does it feel strong? Does it feel worked? Does it feel awake? Okay, so this work is still strengthening, still focusing on a strong body here. You feel the heart beating. Okay. Often reassuring, but if you feel it too strongly, sometimes it's a little bit, what's going on? Yeah, just getting that sense, no to worry. Okay, and relax the arms. Give yourself a little bit of a shake out, just so we're doing something that's not quite so controlled. Okay, so I'm going to do again a faster movement if you want to go faster, and a wake up call with a bit more work with the joints, if you like, a bit more loosening, warming for the joints. But to start with, just take the arms, sweeping the arms back, and imagining that someone's pulling your arms back, or being pulled by strings on your wrists, and then they're letting you go, pulling back, letting you go, pulling back, letting you go. So there's a relaxed part of the movement, and there's a kind of power part of the movement. And that's how it feels in the front of the chest, front of the rib cage, as the arms sweep back. Keeping that spine sense of lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the crown of the head. And then we start to do bigger movement as we bend the knees and bend into the hips, taking the arms up towards the ceiling. But avoiding any over arching of the lower back, easy to do that. So there might be a wee bit of a back bend here, but it's more the upper spine rather than the lower spine. So you might have to sort of stop yourself to this sort of point from taking that arm up and over too much and getting into that lower back, creating a crunching or difficulty there, which you might not notice until you finish. So you're getting your ankles, your knees, your hips to warm up, to loosen up. Effectively, you come into a squat, don't you, when you come down here, but you're not particularly thinking about that because you're getting the whole body to move. And you can bring in breath work to release the diaphragm a little bit more, and you can speed up if you wish to, but you can stay at what you like. Okay, so you can then start to slow the movement up. See how it feels to slow the movement up, how it feels in the knees, in the joints, and again, just that momentum. Slow the body up. So we've moved quite quickly, and we've got the body really active again. So a bit like interval training, we just need to kind of calm again. So bringing the hands to the hips for a moment. And again, notice if as soon as you finish, you end up collapsing. Yeah, so it's a really easy thing to do. We're doing what we're doing, then suddenly we go back to what might feel like not helpful posture for us. So the more we keep the length, the more we'll be able to breathe. We start doing that, the breath will get trapped. Okay, and taking the hands then to the rib cage, and see if you can feel any movement and any release outwards on the in-breath, and relaxing back into center on the out-breath. So just see if that's kind of happening. Don't need to force it, just be interested. And if you can get back to nostril breathing, just be interested to give it a try. just so you know whether you're breathing through the mouth or through the mouth and the nose or just through the mouth. And how do you feel now? How the legs feel? How does the body feel? More awake, more warmer, tinglier in a positive way, vibrations, feeling inside the body, feeling the breath, feeling a sense that you've got support when you need support in these movements. Okay, and release the hands again, maybe a bit of a shake, release the shoulders, release the jaw. Okay, so we're going to move into some sun salutation routines, fairly straightforward ones. So, and we'll build that up. So we'll start together at the front of the mat. I suggest you bring your hands into your chest, and that just gives you a reminder about this area here at the front of the chest, sternum. So that sometimes we collapse, yes. So it's kind of quite common because of our culture of looking at phones and devices, we tend to round it back. So this is a reminder that we can keep this part of the front of the chest open, an extension through the crown of the head, extended spine. So again, that posture bit, that kind of like what clues do we need to maintain posture and then get into rhythm. So feeling the feet on the floor, my feet feeling stable, and they're about hip distance apart. So just make sure you've got your feet in position when you feel really connected to the ground. Hands together, and the shoulders are released from the ears, but you can feel the shoulder blades releasing back towards each other, so it's stability again in the upper body. So we're going to release the hands down and sweep the arms up. Fold forward, so top body folds over bottom body, bending the knees, bending at the hips, not the lower back, let the head just release and then release. You can also get a little bit of a shake out. And we're going to extend through the spine by bringing the hands onto the shins or the knee or the thigh, so we feel like we're extending all the way through the back from the tail through to the crown. We release down again with fingertips to the floor, let the top body be really loosened over the bottom body. We're going to just step back with one foot into lunge, so we just step back as far as we comfortably can onto the back toes. Hands or fingers are either side of the front foot, and then we're just going to push off from the back foot so we kind of just get in this rhythm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Look down towards your front knee. Front knee should be heading forward, so broadly over the second or third toe, rather than collapsing. So try and keep that alignment between the ankle, the knee, and the hip broadly. Enjoy the rhythm. If the rhythm feels uncomfortable on the back or on the knee joints, and just be still. Okay, so we're going to get step forward by bending the back knee and pushing off from the back foot. So the back foot returns to the front foot, squatting down slightly, pushing off with the fingers if that helps to get that sense of then upward energy to reach up and bring the hands back into centre. Calm everything down, check that you're happy with your position of your feet, that you feel stable through the feet. Got the breath back, you relax for a second without collapsing. So this idea we can relax without letting everything go down. We can still maintain that support so we're awake and we're feeling strong still. Second side when you're ready. So relaxing the hands down, then sweep the arms up on the in-breath, fold forward on the out-breath, top body over bottom body. Really relax that top body over the bottom body. Then in-breath, hands to shin or to knees or to thighs. Extend through the spine, all the way through the crown of the head, and out-breath, relax the body back down. And step back on your second side, doesn't really usually happen on the second side. Stepping back, and again that rhythm, getting back into rhythm, just using the back toes to give us a movement forward and back. Just helps us find a rhythm again. Checking that back knee, back hip is actually following the same trajectory rather than the hips jutting out or knee jutting out. Bend the back knee, push off from the back foot to step the back leg forward to the front foot, down to squat slightly, push off through the fingers and lengthen, enjoy that lengthening, back out, hands back to chest, position and re-establish yourself, okay. So we're going to step back into downward facing dog and into plank. So if you know what I mean, you can come along with me, otherwise just pause the video and watch the movement and then follow it the second time, okay. So just establishing yourself in calm support here. So again, feel the feet on the floor, legs feel strong hopefully by now. So a little bit of tone in the belly to support the lower back. And again, that sense of upright energy through the spine, through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades slightly joining to feel that stability and relaxation of the shoulders away from the ears. Jaw soft, cheeks soft, breathing body. Okay, and when you're ready, drop the hands in breath, sweep the arms up, folding forward on the out breath, top body over bottom body, relax top body, neck and head. In breath, hands to shins, extend through the spine. Relax down again on the out breath and then stepping back with one foot, palms down, step back with the second foot into downward facing dog. Walking the dog, so that means just bringing one knee forward, then the other knee forward, and then obviously the heel goes back a little bit. So we get this opportunity to open a little bit more in the back of the legs, which can be tight if we run quite frequently. So just feeling that opening and softening around the backs of the legs if that is an issue for you. Okay, and then we're going to roll the shoulders till they come over the wrists and stabilize through the belly, legs strong into plank, roll back into downward facing dog, bending the knees. Roll forward back into plank, avoid sticking the bottom up, avoid dropping the bottom too far, so this stable position. Once more back into downward facing dog, bending the knees as much as you need to keep that safe back. We're going to come out of it by padding the hands towards the feet, safe and simple. Once we're down, we go back into that kind of squat position, push off from the fingers, find a way rolling all the way back up, and hands back into center. Excellent. Coming back to the front of your mat, and again, just steady yourself for a moment. And again, just notice that you're not collapsing and you're not tensing. So anywhere you tense, just relax for a moment. But keeping this awareness of energy going up through the spine. Feet grounded through, down to the floor, up to the earth. Okay. So relax the arms down just for a moment. Step to the front of anywhere you can see me again. Take your hands onto the pelvis, have your feet about shoulder distance apart, and just start to loosen in the center for a moment. So just doing circles with the pelvis, just see how the lower back's doing. And just having a different movement for the body, doing lots of ups and downs. Just need to take the body in a different routine, a different rhythm, and opposite direction. See how it feels as you create that circuit in the back. And the hips, feel the movement of the hips into the hands. How smooth is that circuit? Where does it get stuck? If it gets stuck, just try and smooth out the rough edges. And back into stillness. Give the wrists and the hands a shake, the legs a shake. Shaking's good, just loosens things that we might have got a little tense with. Flash your body. Just wriggle out of things. Okay, so we're going to just do a few movements from warrior to side angle to reverse warrior. That might sound like you haven't a clue what I'm talking about, but let's just give it a try. Most of you may well already know where I'm going with this. So I've got my hands together again, just reconnected with that posture memory to keep the front of the rib cage, front of the sternum open, and length through the spine, strong in the legs. And I'm going to, you might again need to watch this first, I'm opening up. So I'm stepping back, see the position of my back toes pointing forward to the long end of the mat. Opposite foot, knees bent on that side, arms are broadly out to shoulder level. So this knee is broadly heading over to the centre of the foot rather than coming out to the big toe, trying to get that alignment so you feel it's safe there. Okay, so I don't want to go too much into detail with this, I want us to get moving and flowing again. So I'm going to side angle, so I'm bringing my forearm to the centre of the thigh, I'm sweeping my top arm over, so I get this length down this upper side of the body all the way from the heel. It feels like there's a lengthening here. I use this top arm to get myself simply back into warrior 2, and then I reverse everything. So tip the plane over, and I take the top arm over my head. And I just move betwixt and between. So maybe taking an out breath to get yourself over. Move your top arm on the in breath to get yourself back to warrior 2. Out breath, find space on the opposite side of the rib cage. In breath, coming back to warrior. So finding your own breath now, your own rhythm for a couple more flows through. So you might want to go quickly, you might want to go really slow and just feel this in your body in a more calm way. So next time you're into warrior 2, kind of neutral in between position, then we're going to step forward if you can. So if you feel like I can't step forward from here, my legs are too far apart, then you just need to bring your legs together and then do heel toe. Otherwise you use your back arm to help you get your back leg to the front of the mat again, and your right back. Okay, if you need to do any shaking out, you do a little bit of shaking out. I'm just going to go to the opposite side of the mat. You can join me. And again, just check that I'm collapsed, that I'm still breathing well. A sense of energy and support. And then breathing in to open out into your warrior again. Just check the knee hasn't drifted in. It's hard to see, but you get the idea towards the, you want to avoid that drifting in. It feels stable here. So if you're feeling a bit rocky, then you can always take your front foot over to your little toe side and get a bit more stability possibly there. Okay. So we're just going to side angle, forearm just sits on the thigh, top arm drifts over, top arm helps us get back, and then we just lower the plane wings the other way around and come over. It's a bit tighter for me. See my hesitancy there, and finding your rhythm. Breath, maybe side angle. Breath to come up into warrior, arrive in warrior, and then reverse it on the out breath to reverse. Just finding your own way through for a couple more. Arriving back into warrior 4, rest before you step forward. If you can step forward, if not, I'll just say just put feet to the front and heel toe. Otherwise, use the back arm as much as the back leg to get yourself into a supportive movement to find your way back. Again, making sure you've arrived and then not gone into collapse anywhere, the upper back, lower back. Feel still that sense of upward energy through the body. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so this next move, just a little bit of a warning. This is my warning hand. This is my teal mat. So in the next section, there's a twist involved, which for most people will feel absolutely straightforward. But if there's issues in lower back, for some of you, it might feel a little bit strong. So if that's the case, you need to definitely watch this first. If you're not sure, you watch it and then you decide whether you're happy to move into this position. So coming to the front of our mat, and we're going to be stepping back. So I'm actually going to be stepping and facing the wall, so I won't be, just so that when I do the twist, I am going to be facing you and be clear what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to be stepping back with my right leg from here. So back into warrior two, so stepping back. And from here, I'm going to take my back arm over towards my front arm. Hopefully you can see my back foot. I'm pivoting on the ball of my back foot so it faces forward. And coming down with my fingertips and onto the knees. You can untuck your toes if you prefer, or you can keep your toes tucked under. So I've got my left foot forward, left knee bent. I'm going to bring my right elbow onto the front of the thigh and bring my hands together. And that will give me a little bit of support to open potentially into a twist in my belly. Needs to come in a little bit to give that support to the lower back. And I decide how comfortable I am in this position. So for most people that will be fine, but for back issues, just need to take it, lower back issues, just need to take care here. Any lower back area issues is just not worth doing. Okay, and then release the fingertips back to the floor. Take the back knee off the floor because we're going to go back to where we were. So that means we've got to look at the back heel here. Take the back heel back down. Push off with the fingertips. Hopefully that will be enough to get you back to warrior, amazingly, back to warrior two. Use your back arm this time under to sweep your back leg forward with you. So sometimes that's further than you would have liked with the legs. So again, you could always heel toe. So we're going to go on the opposite side. Yeah. So I'm just moving the opposite side just so you get that sense. But I'm still going to be turning in the wrong direction when I start. So again, check the posture. You haven't collapsed in the front of your chest. Keep that length and energy going through the spine, through the crown of the head. And when you're ready, opening up into second side of your warrior two. From there, take your back arm to your front arm. Pivot on the back foot and come down with your hands and your knees to the floor. You can untuck your back toe if you prefer, or you can keep your toes tucked under. Okay, so whichever foot is forward, I've got my right foot forward, so I'm going to bring my left elbow onto my thigh, come in this prayer position, and just see how much. So the leverage here is not to force anything, it's just to give you a sense of stability. So don't force yourself around. Just take care, keep the belly in, and a sense of spiraling of the whole spine. And then release the fingers back to the floor. Take the knee off the floor, but pivot on the back foot to get that heel down. So you can then get enough momentum from the fingers and the legs strong to come back up into your warrior two. Use your back arm to support your back leg to flow to the front of the mat and to find your positioning again in the front. Again, checking out how strong you feel in your legs, how supported you feel in your belly and your lower back, and how you feel in your chest. Brilliant. Well done. And relax into center again. So just get a sense of how the body feels in standing before we do one final position. So how's the legs, inner legs, outer legs? How do the feet feel in terms of connection to the floor? How's the spine and the belly? chest. What are you doing with the shoulders? Are they relaxed? How's the palms of the hands? What's going on in the body? So head, neck, jaw, eyes. Yeah, so just making sure you're not over tensing around the body. But time for a little bit more of flowing movement really here. So we'll start with the arms and then we'll add the legs in. So we're flying. Yeah. So the arms and the wrists and the hands are softening in this movement. Elbows soften, so rather than anything really rigid, we're looking for flowing and relaxing in the arms. And we're going to bring in the legs. So we're going to lift one knee up into hip height and return it to the floor. And then. So effectively a balance, it's a balanced stalk here. As we sweep the arms and find a rhythm to get the knees up. So we've got a balance, but we've been doing lots of stabilising. We're doing lots of work with the legs in our standing poses. So hopefully we don't even need to think about really stabilising through the foot, because we've done all that work and the body's just ready for this soft arm movement. See how it feels in the back. So imagine your wings are coming from around the shoulders, the back muscles. And really finding the easiest, floaty, softening way of getting those arms up. Yeah, it's a bit dancey. I know some people don't like the dancey ones. A lot of people kind of love the dancey ones. Yeah, I quite like this. Softer movement. No collapsing. Still keeping the energy going up through the spine. And relax in the center. Maybe one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. Again, just check if there's a temptation to collapse here. Keep the energy still flowing through the spine. Imagine the spine energized. Upward energy through up to the crown of the head. Imagine the feet really connected to the earth. Strong legs, strong body. And within that strength we can still soften without collapsing. So relaxing the jaw, relaxing the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead, the scalp. The shoulders, the chest, the belly, the butt, the inner thighs, palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. And then just be conscious of the whole body. Strong and relaxed. The whole breathing body, strong and relaxed. Breathing soft. Just be a little bit more aware of your surroundings, light, sounds, colours. What's going on in your space, maybe other people arriving or cats and dogs. Release the hands, let's shake out, so loosen up. So thank you for joining me. You've been joining me for the last 3 weeks for this summer, kind of keeping the body going, keeping the running body going. And I'll be offering a yoga course from middle of September, so get in touch if you're interested in that. I've sent out priority invites to people, my regular classic, I've missed you out. Please come and find me if you're still interested, or you don't know me but you're interested in all of these, then please just message me and I can send you some details about a 6-week course for runners on. It's going to be around posture and good back care. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your strong body and take care. Thank you again.